Lord, we magnify your holy name. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this afternoon. Let me know where you are joining me from. Let's just come in here and just have a good time today. I bring you another good and interesting topic here for us to talk about. Just adjusting my lights to make sure everything is good. It's sunny out today, even if it's cold. Winter is coming. Hallelujah. I wish we could have summer all year round. I'm one of those people. So, thank you for joining me today. Let me know where you are joining me from. Today, we are going to be looking at a topic. A lot of people have asked me or talked to me about side hustle. I don't know what you call yours. I prefer to call mine a side gig, right? So nowadays, a lot of people have so many different types of things they do on the side. And I have even seen cases where the side hustle has become the mainstream of income for different reasons, right? So I'm just going to wait for a few minutes. Let me know where you're joining me from. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to be looking at the topic side hustle. Does everybody need a side hustle? And how do you find one? Right? Some of you have one side hustle, some of you have multiple, and some of you have no side hustle at all. That is also good. So, as we go into the topic today, please just welcome, join me, and just type in the chat where you're joining me from. If you're watching a replay, you can also say hashtag replay and tell me where you are watching the replay from. If you have any questions, if you have any comment, I want this to be very interactive. Don't forget to drop your comment, share this with your friends, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, this would be a good time to do so. And if you're not following me on Instagram at Same My Blooming TV, kindly follow me on Instagram. And on Facebook, I will be doing some short Instagram live to share some nuggets and wisdom with you. So let's get into the topic today without wasting time. Does everybody need a side hustle? And what is a side hustle? How do you find a side hustle? Now, I'm just going to say, first of all, let's try to give a context to what a side hustle is. And here I've written down some things that a side hustle is a supplementary job or business that you pursue in addition to your main source of income. So a side hustle is something like the name implies you do on the side, but I prefer to call it a side gig. So whether you call it a side gig, a side hustle, your play money, you can call it anything you want. So this is something you do aside of your main stream of income or aside of your main job. That is your side hustle. Now, a lot of things drive side hustle. Like people do side hustle for a lot of reason. So it's often driven by personal interest. It can be driven by skills. What kind of skills do you have? It can be driven by entrepreneurial goals. You want to become an entrepreneur. You want to be self-independent. You want to be self-employed, right? That could drive you to start looking into having a side hustle because it gives you the flexibility to fix your own schedule, depends on what you're doing, right? And also side hustle provides the extra income, right? Even if it's $1 extra, it is something, or whatever the currency is where you're watching me from, it is something. And then side hustle can be driven by flexibility. So for side hustle, you're fixing your own schedule, you're fixing your own appointment based on your availability. So you can choose to say no, you can choose to say today I'm going to do it, today I'm not. But for your main job or your secular job, you often do not have that flexibility depending on the kind of job you do. Now, does everybody need a side hustle? I said no, not everybody needs a side hustle, but it does give you extra income, it gives you fulfillment, and it helps you to develop skills. I have quite a few side hustles, and some of my side hustle truly started not because I even wanted extra income. I'll give you an example. When I had my third child, when I had my first two kids in Nigeria, the mat leave was for 3 months. So you have your baby, and before you know it, you're back to work again. And for those of you who live in the States and some other countries, it's the same thing, 3 months. But when I came to Canada, I had my third child, and the mat leave is for 12 months or 18 months. And initially, I said, wow, I can't wait to have this 12 months mat leave. But after the first 1, 2 months, I was like, oh, this is going to be so long because I'm not used to just staying doing nothing. So I was so bored all day. Like when the older kids went to school, the baby is sleeping. I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? And so guess what? I started experimenting with different recipes. So before I left Nigeria, I know how to cook. I enjoy cooking, but I didn't do anything like baking, pastry, or any of those things. And so, because I was so bored, I started experimenting with different things. So, my husband will come home today. I've made meat pie. And of course, it didn't turn out well at the beginning. But then I started experimenting and tweaking the recipes. And that is when you know that a lot of the recipes online, even when you follow it to the T, it doesn't come out the same. So, I started making adjustments. I started writing these recipes down, learning how to make chin chin, how to make buns, even learning how to make Canadian pastries, Canadian dishes, Canadian recipes. And then I started developing this. So I started developing this in 2012, but I didn't get to do catering as a side hustle till maybe 2021, right? A good 10, 11 years later. And why did I pick up catering as a side hustle? Because people were just asking me, oh, can you help me prepare this? Can you help me prepare this? And some people were like, you need to start catering for people. Like, we need your service. We need this thing. And after a while, I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. Oh, I'm doing too many things. And before you know it, boom, that is how Bloom's Kitchen came about. And it became part of my side hustle. So it came out of a passion and out of a skill I acquired. And then it became useful as a side hustle for me. So not everybody needs a side hustle, but for some people, their side hustle comes as part of fulfillment. So for me, that particular side hustle was because I was getting too bored at home. And because I've learned all these skills and people were wanting more of those skills, it ended up becoming a side hustle. Now, another side hustle I have is making hair. This one was born years ago. When I say years ago, about 20 years ago, I'm talking about my journey in trying to just tell you how people come about with their side hustle. Because some of you have asked me, what kind of side hustle should I do? Should I do? How do I know the kind of side hustle that will be profitable? So here I'm laying foundation that your passion and your skills actually determines or drives what kind of side hustle you're going to do. But if, for example, you think you want to pick up baking or catering or pastry making as a side hustle, but you do not have the skill, then that should prompt you to go acquire the skill required. But if you already have a particular skill, you could actually use the skills you already have for the side hustle. You just need to do a feasibility study on how to go about the business and what to do. So back to my gist of before. So my side hustle for my hair making business, this was born probably say 24 years ago. And at this point, my dad had traveled, we were home, and we didn't have any money. He had sent us some checks in the mail, we didn't know, and we were truly hungry. I needed to feed my younger ones, and I was just watching people do hair and I'm like, I can do that. And out of just watching people do hair, before you knew it, I started telling people I can make hair. I make hair. I make hair. And then this was like I was in grade 12, or as we say in Nigeria, SS3. And before you know it, I started making hair, braiding hair for people. And I'm like, whoa, this thing, you can actually make good money from this. And before you know it, I started making hair from secondary school. And by the time I got into school of nursing, my side hustle of hair making was so good. It was actually able to help me a lot in school because the pocket money I got from home didn't scratch the expenses I needed in school. But my side hustle was able to make me a young, financially independent lady. So, did I need that side hustle in my school of nursing? Absolutely, I needed it because I didn't have money for a lot of things. And my side hustle was so good, I could actually afford some luxury in school. So this is for you young ones out there, or you youths. You're in secondary school right now, or in high school, as we say here, and look at the skills you have, and look at the ones you can acquire. They will come in handy even when you go to university or later in life. Trust me, it comes in really handy. And so, School of Nursing, I was never broke or stressed about money because I had a steady income and I could plan it. It was so flexible. I can choose not to do hair throughout my exam period. I can choose to do it on a weekend. I can choose to do it after school. So it gave me the flexibility, it gave me extra income, and it gave me the financial independence where I could be my own woman. So I didn't need to depend on anybody for extra money. So that is how that was born. So you can see how two different side hustles is born out of two different circumstances, right? One is because I'm bored, the other one is because I really need money. So for you out there asking me, oh, do I really need a side hustle? You decide. If your main stream of income it's able to cover your expenses, and trust me, it doesn't matter where you live in the world today, the cost of living is so high. So some of you do two, three jobs. My advice would be have one main job and see if you can have the others as side hustle because that gives you flexibility. But if you feel like you don't have that entrepreneurial spirit, you don't want to have your own business where you are going to be doing the logistics, thinking about it, you'd rather just pick up an extra job on the side, then do you. Whatever works for you is absolutely fine. But if it's your income, your main income is able to cover your expenses, everything, you're able to invest, you have your play money, money for vacation, then for sure you do not need a side hustle. So don't feel guilty if you do not have a side hustle. Like I said, some of my side hustle I do to network. There are side hustles I do. Even my husband is like, do you really need this business? I said, no, I just want to meet people. And so I've had a side hustle, for example, where I went for a craft fair. For those of you who do not know, I really enjoy crocheting. And so I had tons of crochet projects that I'd already done, scrunchies, I had dish towels and scrubbies, like for washing dishes. I had tons of stuff. And then somebody said, oh, since you enjoy crocheting, why not network with people in your community? Come out for the craft fair. I come to meet people in your community. Now, that craft fair was not about making money because throughout the whole day, I probably made like $200, which is nothing. But I got to meet amazing people that day. I got to meet amazing people from my immediate community and from the external community. So for some of you, side hustle is not just about the income or the money you're going to make. It's going to be about networking. It's going to be about meeting people from other professions, other business, and just building that network with other people. So not everybody needs side hustle, but it can provide extra income. It can provide fulfillment. It can provide skill development. It can provide networking and just getting to know other people. Now, I said here, side hustle is a personal choice that is based on your individual goal or your individual need. For some of you, you want more financial security. Maybe, for example, you're looking at buying a house. Now, I live in Canada. Depends on what applies where you are. If you're going to buy a house, you need to have a certain amount for down payment. Maybe we'll talk about that some other time. You need to have a certain amount for your down payment. And apart from having your down payment, they're going to look at your income stream, and use that to qualify you for how much you can afford to buy. Now, when they're factoring all that in, they factor how much you already have and how much you're making. So side hustle might be a way for you to make up for how much you want to put down. So it helps you to save more. So you can just say the money I'm making from this side also, I'm going to add it to my savings so I can build my deposit or my deposit faster, right? So you can do side hustle because you want extra income for financial security. And so some of those side hustles I have, even when you're trying to invest, you're trying to buy houses, buy property, or whatever investment you want, the bank will look at all your main streams of income and they factor that in to say this is how much money you make. But your main job forms a big part of what qualifies you because that is steady. They can ask you for your T4 or your income for the last 2, 3 years and see the pattern, right? So that will help you. So it gives you extra income when you're trying to save for investment. For some of you, you just want extra money to put away for vacation. Your side hustle can do that. Just create a vacation account and just put it there. And before you know it, you've saved enough for your vacation. Or like I said, it's my play money. So when I'm going for my pedicures, I want to buy my makeup and stuff. I use money from my side hustle for that. But if your main income is able to do all that, pay your bills, here we have car insurance, mortgages, property tax. If your main job can do that, then you're all good. Okay. So leave me questions. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. And then as a side hustle helps in pursuing your passion. So it brings fulfillment. This is based on what you want. For some people, their side hustle is not as much as the money they are making, it's just having that contentment. Like it's a hobby, something you enjoy doing. For some, it has led them to develop skills. So, like I said, pastry or baking was not something I was into, but over the years, it helped me to develop that skill. So some of you, you might say, I like this kind of side hustle. What does it take to have it or to do it? And before you know it, you go acquire that new skill that you want. And then it helps you, of course, to gain diverse experience. Now, why consider side hustle and how do you find a side hustle? What are some examples of side hustle that you can do? Okay. Why consider side hustle? For me, like I said already before, the high cost of living. Things are so expensive. I don't know about you, whether you are renting or you own, the cost of living is so high. Then you have your car insurance, you're paying, grocery and food bill is so much. You have your hydro or electricity bills, your gas bill, and then, of course, clothing, vacation, and all those other things. They are all expenses, school fees for your children. So the high cost of living is a reason to consider side hustle because you don't want to always use your credit card and get yourself into debt. It's going to be very difficult to dig yourself out of those pits if you fall into the place of debt. Why consider a side hustle? It gives you supplementary income. I've already said that. It gives you a lot of supplementary income. It helps you to breathe. It gives you income for you to save for the rainy day. When unforeseen circumstances come, you have that money there. And yes, for some people, they don't have it, then they'll have to use their credit card or they'll have to borrow. But for me, I think it's good for you to have that supplementary income somewhere that is available for use. Why consider side hustle? I said it covers additional expenses. For some of you, you're caring for your loved ones, you're caring for your parents, and you're caring for maybe a family member. The side hustle gives you extra money for all these extra expenses. And of course, it gives you financial flexibility because you're making this money on your own terms, your own time. Like I said, when I schedule my appointments or I want to take a contract, I look at my days off. Does it work for me? Does it not work? Some days I can say, no, I'd rather do this on Monday or I'd rather do this on Tuesday. Or if the person is dead set on a particular time, I'm afraid I cannot do that. So it's flexible because you work in your own time, right? Now, why consider a side hustle? I've said it already. For investment purposes, you want to make extra income so you're able to invest, whether it's property, GICs, or you want to buy shares, whatever investment, you want to buy gold, you want to do business, you even want to start a business. You can even do a side hustle to raise capital to start a business. And then why consider a side hustle? Passion. Like I said, Some of my side hustles have come because of the things I am passionate about. It's born out of the things I enjoy doing. And so that has become part of my side hustle. And lastly, why consider a side hustle? You get to meet amazing people. It is good for networking. So, having said this, how do you choose a side hustle? And I've already said this, I'm just recapping as I round up here. How do you choose a side hustle? Your passion. What are you passionate about? So ask yourself, what are you passionate about? What do you enjoy doing effortlessly? What are the things that for some of you, you just like to give financial advice? That could be your side hustle. But I know somebody who enjoys teaching people about Excel tutorials and stuff like that. So I want you to think inward. What are the skills you already have? What is your passion? What are the things you already enjoy doing? So much more than just seeing somebody doing something and said, I could do that as a side hustle. Are you passionate about it? If not, you'll not be able to sustain it. There will be no longevity. And then what drives your side hustle, or how do you determine what to do? Your skills. What are your skill sets? What is your profession? So your professional background, what are your skills, your business skills and acumen and those kind of things. Those are the things where you start from to look at what kind of side hustle you should have. So lastly, let's look at some examples of side hustle. Now, I live in Canada. For those of you who live in North America, you can look at ways, or you can render services to people. What is lacking there? What is needed there? So I live in North America. Look around. What are things people want and they seem like they are not getting, right? Or if you live in Europe, you live in Nigeria. So what are some of those things? So for some of you, like I said, I do catering, and that is because a lot of people started demanding for that service. That they want me to prepare something for them, they want me to cook something for them, and they don't just want it for free. They want to actually pay me for it. They want to patronize me, right? And so look at the needs around you. So everybody around you is complaining they cannot get good food. There's no restaurant around here that caters to their needs. You can be Filipino and they say, oh, we really need Filipino food, and you are really good at making Filipino food, then maybe start to look at it. Be a solution provider. That is a way you can identify what side hustle to go into. So look at the problems around you, look at the skills you already have. As soon as I came to Canada, I said, oh, I need extra income, and I know I already make hair, and I started getting the word out. So how do you get your side hustle? Get the word out. Tell people I make hair, and try to build your clientele. Try to build your own network and be confident about it. How do you do your side hustle? Set a price, set a space for it. So I make hair, and from day one, I dedicated space for it in my home. So I have a home salon. So I have a mirror on my wall, I have a salon chair, and now I have a dedicated space and I have hair. So when you come into my home salon, it's actually even bigger than some. It's actually bigger than some salons you go to here. So make it official. Tell people you're serious about this hustle. Okay. And of course, you can start small. You can start making hair small in your living room, but have a dedicated space. Okay. Have a dedicated space where somebody comes in, they know this is where you do your business, right? So have a dedicated space to show those people you're serious. And then how much do you charge? Figure out how much the service is worth, right? So give them a charge. This is what I would like to be paid for this, right? So have that. And then, for example, for my catering, I have a menu, a price list. So this is everything I make, and this is how much it costs to make it. So people try to order things I don't have on my menu, and I just tell them, I don't have that on my menu. I cannot make it. So I make it personally for consumption. I might not necessarily want to cater to make that. So define the parameter of what you want to do. So if you want to cater for only pastry, then stick to it. If you want to expand it over time, also do that. And if you need to like develop your catering skills, maybe I can make meat pie, maybe, but I don't know how to really make good meat pie. Then go watch YouTube and keep trying till you perfect it, because people want to get quality for whatever they are paying you for. So you also want to put out something that is really good. If you're still learning, you're still struggling, let the person know. I remember some hairstyles like crochet when it just came out. Somebody said, I want to do crochet. And I said, I've never done it before. She said, okay, I'm open to being the first person you try it on. So I watched several YouTube videos and did the hair for her. And that is how I started making crochet hairstyles. So be honest, be upfront and say, this thing, I just started my catering business, so I'm still figuring out the logistics. Be honest about the things you can make and the things you cannot make. And then also look around, like in Canada, again, I'm using here as an example, or North America, I can be in the US or even Europe, or even in Nigeria, there's Uber right now. So there's Uber that takes people, transport people. You can decide for your side hustle you want to do Uber. So after work, you want to spend 1, 2 hours driving Uber, 2, 3 hours driving Uber. It's flexible. Do it on your own time. Or no, I don't like driving people. I want to pick up, do delivery. So now Uber has Uber Eats or Uber package that picks up food. So a lot of my clients for catering, they said, do you do delivery? I said, no, but you can Uber the food to you. So when I finish cooking, they book their Uber. Uber picks up the food and go to deliver it. So you can decide, I want to do that. So you pick up food from one point and deliver. You can register through Uber, or you can go, depending on the app that is used in your country. Some people have skipped the dishes for delivering food. Some have DoorDash. So go do your research and see. So I want to deliver food. What are the platforms available that I have to register through? What are the criterias? What is the criteria for being an Uber driver or being someone who delivers food for Uber? They might say these are the kind of cars we want. These are the years of cars we want. So check out those things and see if it is for you or not. So Uber is something you can do. You can do food delivery for ladies who really know how to cook, who enjoy cooking. You can do cooking for people. You can do meal prep for people. I do meal prep for a lot of people. And it's not to say they are lazy, they just want to be efficient and use their time wisely. So they order this food every month. They tell me what they want, prep it, get home, they portion it, put it in their freezer, and they have food to go. So it can be for people who are very busy. So put yourself out there and tell people, I can do your meal prepping, I can help you cook, right? For some of you, another thing you can do is cleaning. A lot of people want cleaning. I have a cleaning lady that comes once in 2 weeks, and you will not believe how much need there is for cleaning. A lot of people want cleaning. They can't even find people who are consistent or who know how to clean properly. So if that is something you can do or you want to do, go for it. You can go clean. Again, it's very flexible. Pick your dates, choose your dates, your time. Decide if you want to go with your materials or if you want that person to buy it, and look at how much other people charge and decide how much you want to charge. It is very important you know how much you want to charge. Same thing for my food. Some people look at my menu, they say, oh, it's very expensive. And I tell them, I know what I put into my food. So if you're not okay with the price, you can go elsewhere, politely. And they taste yours and taste other people. And they're like, no, I'd rather pay the extra for it. And there are some other people who are more expensive than mine. So fix your own price and stick with your price. Cleaning is another good one. So you can decide you want to clean. And then another one I've seen is makeup. A lot of people are looking for makeup artists nowadays. And then some of these things are seasonal. So Christmas is coming. A lot of people are doing photo shoots. Or if you want to do makeup for people for their weddings, for their graduation, dedication, put yourself out there on Instagram. Put yourself out there. Tell your friends, I'm a makeup artist. I do makeup for people. So a lot of people do hair and makeup as a combo. Some people do just makeup. If it's something you're looking into, of course, if you need to do 1 or 2 courses here to learn how to do it, then for sure go for it. So this is some of the things you can do. Another one I have here is selling handmade or vintage stuff. For us here, we have Facebook Marketplace. Marketplace is a place you sell anything. So you can actually buy stuff and resell on Marketplace. That is a good way to make income. You can buy stuff cheaply. You can buy stuff from out of country if you want, and then you put it on Marketplace. Talk to your friends. I have these things for sale. Right now, I have some things for sale. I sell jewelries on the side. So play with it. Have fun. The goal is to have fun with your side hustle. Or for some of you, you crochet. Start to crochet and go to different craft fairs and sell some of those things. For some of you, it is not crochet. I have friends who do like party favors. So if you want to do a birthday party, they do party favors like the party bag, the gift bags, and they just tell them how much you want. Some of them design the bags, and some of them actually they can make the bags for you. So that's another beautiful side hustle you can have. So somebody has a party, it can be party favor for a birthday, for a wedding, and you do custom made souvenirs for them, right? It can be for anything. And another thing that you can also do is event planning, event decoration. I've seen a lot of people do that. It's a very beautiful side hustle as well. Again, if you need to acquire the skill, go learn how to decorate with the art, the materials you need. Network with other people who are in that business already and let them mentor you and tell you about the business. And then you can also do that. So these are some of the things that you can do. Some of you can even do freelance writing. You enjoy writing projects, or you can even tutor. You can teach people's kids how to read, how to do, if you're good in math, come on, stop wasting your skills. You're good in physics, you can go tutor, right? You can tutor people's kids. And then lastly, our side hustle you can do is babysitting. A lot of people need babysitting. So say, oh, I'm available if you want me to babysit for you. I can come to your home or you can drop them off. Figure out what works for you. So these are some of the things I'm going to be rounding up here now. These are some of the things you can do for your side hustle. Like I said, look around you, the passion you already have, the skills you already have. What are some of the things people around you need that you can actually be a solution to, and let that drive your side hustle? I hope this has really been an interactive session where you get to maybe learn one or two things, or I've been able to give you one or two inspiration for your side hustle. Kindly share, like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, just drop it in the comment section. And thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at my blooming TV. And until next time, when I bring you another exciting topic, have a blessed and wonderful day. See ya. And go hustle and enjoy your side hustle.